Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. When you hear the word spy, what comes to mind? James Bond in a sleek tuxedo? Covert agents in trench coats trading secrets in foggy city streets? We often think of espionage as a modern invention, a product of world wars and cold wars. But what if I told you that the secret world of spies, informants, and covert operations is as old as civilization itself? That's right. Long before there was an MI6 or a CIA, ancient empires were mastering the art of deception, using intricate spy networks to conquer enemies, maintain power, and shape the course of history. Today, we're pulling back the curtain of time to uncover the hidden world of ancient espionage. From the sun-scorched lands of Egypt to the disciplined legions of Rome, get ready to meet the original masters of the secret war. Let's start our journey in ancient Egypt, over 3,000 years ago. The pharaohs, seen as gods on earth, couldn't rely on divine sight alone. They needed eyes and ears everywhere. The Egyptians developed one of the earliest known intelligence agencies. Their agents, often disguised as merchants, diplomats, or even simple travelers, would venture into neighboring lands like Nubia and Canaan. Their mission? To gather information on military strength, political stability, and potential threats. Imagine a merchant haggling over pottery in a foreign market, all while discreetly observing troop movements and listening to local gossip. This information would be relayed back to Egypt, often through coded messages on papyrus scrolls, giving the pharaoh a crucial advantage. One of the most famous examples is from the reign of Thutmose III, a military genius who conducted numerous campaigns. His victories weren't just due to his army's strength, they were meticulously planned using intelligence gathered by his spies who provided detailed reports on enemy positions and supply routes. The Egyptians understood a fundamental truth of power. Knowledge isn't just power, it's the ultimate weapon. Now let's travel east to ancient China, where espionage was elevated to a philosophical art form. If you've ever heard of Sun Tzu's The Art of War, you know it's a masterpiece of military strategy. But a huge portion of the book is dedicated to the importance of intelligence and deception. Sun Tzu wrote, "What enables the wise sovereign and the good general to strike and conquer and achieve things beyond the reach of ordinary men is foreknowledge." And how was this foreknowledge obtained? Through spies. He categorized spies into 5 types: local spies, inward spies, converted spies, doomed spies, and surviving spies. Converted spies, for instance, were enemy agents who were turned to work for you, the classic double agent. Doomed spies were those sent to the enemy with deliberately false information, meant to be captured to mislead the opponent. This wasn't just theory, it was practice. During the Warring States period, rival kingdoms constantly sent agents to infiltrate each other's courts, sow discord, and steal technological secrets, like the methods for casting bronze or iron. Espionage was a deadly, high-stakes chess game where a single, well-placed spy could bring an entire kingdom to its knees without a single battle being fought. Next, we journey to the cradle of democracy, ancient Greece. You might think of philosophers and playwrights, but the Greek city-states were also masters of cloak and dagger operations. The rivalry between Athens and Sparta, in particular, was a hotbed of espionage. The Spartans, known for their secretive and militaristic society, had a secret police called the Crypteia. These were young, elite soldiers sent out into the countryside to live off the land, observe the enslaved Helot population, and eliminate any potential leaders of a rebellion. They were ghosts, enforcing Spartan control through fear and surveillance. The Athenians, on the other hand, relied on a more informal network. Their diplomats and naval commanders were expected to be intelligence gatherers. During the Peloponnesian War, both sides sent agents to sway neutral cities, bribe officials, and gather information on fleet movements. The famous story of the Trojan horse, while mythological, perfectly captures the Greek understanding of deception as a powerful tool of war. It's a timeless lesson. Sometimes, the greatest threat isn't the army at your gates, but the one you willingly let inside. Of course, no discussion of ancient empires is complete without mentioning Rome. As the Roman Republic expanded into a vast empire, its need for information grew exponentially. The Romans were brilliant engineers and soldiers, but they were also pragmatic administrators who knew that control required intelligence. They established the frumentarii. Originally, these were supply officers tasked with collecting grain for the legions. But because their duties took them all over the empire, they were in a perfect position to gather information. They became the emperor's official spies and secret police. The frumentarii would operate from a headquarters in Rome, investigating rumors of treason, monitoring senators, and keeping an eye on provincial governors. They were feared and disliked, as their presence meant the emperor's gaze could reach anywhere, at any time. Think of them as the ancient world's FBI and Secret Service rolled into one. They used informants, intercepted correspondence, and weren't afraid to use intimidation to get what they wanted. Their work was vital for preventing rebellions and assassinations, holding the sprawling multicultural empire together for centuries. But what about the other side of the world? In the Mauryan Empire of ancient India, around the 3rd century BCE, a brilliant advisor named Chanakya wrote a treatise called the Arthashastra. Much like Sun Tzu's work, it's a comprehensive guide to statecraft, and it is absolutely packed with details on espionage. Chanakya's spy network was incredibly sophisticated. He advised the king to employ spies from all walks of life: ascetics, merchants, cooks, entertainers, and even poisoners. He recommended creating a web of spies, where different agents would unknowingly report on each other, ensuring the king received verified, cross-referenced information. Chanakya even detailed methods for using codes, carrier pigeons, and propaganda to destabilize enemy kingdoms. For example, he suggested spreading rumors that the enemy king was cursed or that his kingdom was haunted. This psychological warfare could erode morale and create chaos before the first spear was ever thrown. The Arthashastra shows an incredibly modern and ruthless understanding of intelligence, proving that the silent battles fought in the shadows were just as important as the clashes of armies on the field. From Egypt's merchant spies and China's 5 classes of agents to Rome's dreaded frumentarii and India's intricate web of informants, it's clear that espionage has always been a fundamental part of power and politics. These ancient empires, separated by thousands of miles and hundreds of years, all arrived at the same conclusion. To rule the world, you first have to know what's happening in it. They didn't have satellite imagery or encrypted communications, but with human ingenuity, cunning, and courage, they built intelligence networks that could topple thrones and build empires. The tools have changed, but the game has remained the same. The secret history of the world is written not just by soldiers and kings, but by the spies who moved silently through the shadows, shaping our past in ways we're only just beginning to understand. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the covert world of ancient spies. If you found this as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into history. Let me know in the comments which ancient spy network you think was the most effective. Until next time, stay curious.